Hello everybody, this is Skyflight44, aka Zect44, and today I'm going to be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution. So, I've only really made one specific deck change, and it's definitely a major change. Our Sphinx control deck, which was, for the most part, just an Earth, an Earth flip summon deck, is now definitely it's been taken over by Subterra Behemoth. So, why is the big changes with this one? Number one is the fact that we have the Hidden City and Subterra Behemoths. We don't have too many of these right now, but I would place what I could in the deck. And the thing is, these cards are number one, flip monsters that have some pretty powerful effects and more better yet, are powerful monsters. Are they can be special summoned to the field when you have a card that, or when you have a monster that is face up, flipped face down, and you have no face up monsters. So I can easily normal summon Deslakuta, flip it face down with its effect, and just summon a bunch of Subtower Behemoths. Not to mention, these cards are also Earth monsters, which does work well with stuff like Exod or Grave Oja. The thing is, we have to get into Subterra Behemoth, Ultra Mathos first, because it can flip all face down or all face-up monsters face down, which is going to allow you to continue to get more Subterra Behemoths out. But outside of that, we do have cards like Ceasefire to, if we, in the number one, it's just useful to us. But also, like, if we have an Exod or Grave Oja that is flipped face down, we can flip them back up with Ceasefire so that you can go about using their effects. Specifically with Exod, because we never want to go putting this into attack position. And that's just going to flip it up, but keep it in defense. The other thing is the Hidden City allows us to, when we have a Subtower Behemoth, negate attacks, which definitely makes it so we don't need to be running as many floodgates as we would otherwise be playing. Outside of that, because we have a lot of Earth monsters, and we had to go about taking them down a bit in order to get into anything that we want, we have Giant Rat, which can get us Golem Sentry, Deslakuta. It can go about getting us Cryo Sphinx if we need it to get out Exod immediately. We can get into Medusa Worm. There's plenty of them. Though, unfortunately, Sauropod Brachion cannot be summoned or special summoned from deck. Therefore, we can't actually get this card out with the effects of Giant Rat. At the exact same time, we can still just Monster Reborn it, and that's going to be pretty good on its own. The thing is, we're still running Toll Hike because it's one that we still need to be running a Floodgate. I am actually going to make this get me one more of those, and we'll get rid of a Deslakuta. So Toll Hike makes it so that we, or a player, has to send one card from the hand to graveyard to declare an attack. If this was terrible for us earlier because we can only attack with a bunch of weak monsters, but now that we have Subterra Behemoths, sending a card away in order to just attack with a 3,000 attack point monster when we're basically trying to control the field and do a bunch of effect damage. This works fairly well, especially considering the fact that if I'm stuck on a board that isn't really moving, then I'm going to be gaining cards anyway to my hand. So that's going to be pretty cool in order to do something with. Now, I've tried this before, and it's not a very good matchup, especially considering the fact that while this deck is a lot more consistent, it's still not an incredibly good deck. Let's try out this deck versus Madolche. Ah, and I actually get the Hidden City this time. Okay, so we're going to go about playing the Hidden City. And we will get from our deck Subtower, Behemoth, Ultra Muffos. We're going to go about summoning Medusa Worm and flipping it face down. So we can get Subtower, Behemoth, Ultra Muffos, which we will also flip face down. Now the big thing is, if we have one face down, we can flip one face up. Raigeki, that's cool. We can go about flipping one face up in order to deal with an attack. Though he did not get Madolche Chateau, which is what I've really been fearing this entire time. Okay. So if I just kill it, it goes and gets shuffled back into the deck. But no other effects. Which makes it so he's less likely to find Madolche Chateau. Because there's nothing in the grave, Hootcake shouldn't be able to do anything else. Like, shouldn't be able to banish something from grave. Ah, that's what I like to see. And the Hidden City yet again. So now I'm going to want Subterra Behemoth, Stygo Kraken. Probably, so I can start destroying the back row. Yeah, we'll do that. We are gonna go into flip up Stealth Bird. Flip it face down. Summon Subterra Behemoth Stygo Kraken. Flip it face down. We can go for our Harako Sphinx, which is going to get bottomless. Okay, that's fine. I was kind of hoping to be able to get that. If I went with Cryo Sphinx, it wouldn't have been able to. So, you're going to get cast out. Okay. I don't mind you sending that back into the deck. Okay, and then you get Messengelato. Which gets you into Chateau, which means I'm not doing so well right now. You're going to go into what? Tiramisu? Yep, you're going to go into Tiramisu. With Chateau is going to be just enough in order to take out Subterra Behemoth, Stygo Kraken. That sucks. I was doing fairly well, but that... Oh my god. I hate Raigeki so much. Nope, that's game. Granted, that felt like a good game, but that is still game. We're gonna try that again. Again, this deck is not made for being able to go against Madolche. So we're gonna go first. So let's see. I'm gonna set Giant Rat, and I'm gonna set Solemn Judgment. Yeah, I remember you. And Chateau. Yeah, I'm not letting Chateau go. I'm not letting Chateau go. Oh, and he has a second one. Why? How am I gonna get out of this now? I can... I'm gonna go Deslocuta. And the Hidden City. Okay, which means we can go into you. So we are going to activate the effect of Deslocuta, which will allow us to get you out. We'll flip summon Deslocuta. Drawing the Hidden City. That's lovely. And then we can... Well, it doesn't really matter. But we're going to flip you face down. So that we can flip you face up attack. And now we're not going to use your effect. You're going to go right back to hand. Yeah, isn't that lovely? At the very least, considering what I have on field, that is 7. If you can't just... Oh my god. Damn, I hate that freaking card. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to summon Brave Oja. I probably should have waited on that now I think about it. I am pretty sure I missed lethal on this. Go about using you. We will attack. Thing is, if I went about using the Hidden City first... Yeah, I just barely missed lethal. Because if I used the Hidden City first, I could have went into... like, I could have got myself another Subterra Behemoth. I could have went about using... Ultra Muffos to... flip face down, get another Behemoth out, and then... I would have to go through and then I should be able to summon him, which would flip everything else down outside of also what I had from my other card. I could have flip summoned Sphinx to bounce the other card back, use the Hidden City to flip up the other Subterra Behemoth, and then summon Grave Oja, and that should have been it. Okay, how am I gonna lose to my opponent now? Raigeki! Oh, you didn't have to. Oh, well, if that is your best shot, then I actually have this one. So we're gonna use the Hidden City. Getting back... It doesn't really matter which one I get. We will get you. We'll summon Golem Sentry. Flip you face down. Summoning Subtower Behemoth, Ultramorphos. We'll flip you face down. And then we'll use you to flip it face up in attack position. We will not use your effect because we want to actually deal damage. And there it is. This is not the deck made to fight against Madolche. It really isn't. But I think after several times having to beat it with it, or attempt to, I think we did fine. So now let's just go through and continue on with the third and fourth campaigns. Well, I do still want to go about unlocking more. I just want to completely finish off the Duel Monsters campaign. I want to go through and pretty sure want to get some, because there's a bunch of stuff I can still unlock for GX as well. I kind of want to unlock more booster packs. If I go about showing you what kind of cards I have in the majority of these booster packs now, I kind of need some more of them. Because everything in the initial like Duel Monsters is over 900 at this point. The ones in... I got several of them that are like 900, couple hundreds at least in GX, and pretty much same thing with 5Ds and Zayal. The only one that... I can only really think of one that doesn't have 100. And that's because I don't really want to go through and get that one. I know they call him Sayer, but he's still going to be Divine for me. It just sounds like a much cooler name. At the same time, this guy's a dick. This guy is a gigantic dick. Okay, so we are gonna go first. Leo is still using his Morphtronics. I do like Morphtronics, but we're using Psychic today. Okay. So we can emergency teleport. I'm pretty sure he has to have either Krebons or Psychic Commander. He only has one Synchro, though, which is an 8. Which means probably not going to be using emergency teleport. Just yet. I think I'm just going to go about normal summon Snail. Yeah, I'll normal summon Snail. I'll set Call of the Haunted. And I will let it go. Okay, scoping. And stapling. That sucks. Yeah, that sucks. So now you're going to go into Power Tool Dragon immediately. No? Go on. Do what you need. That sounds wonderful. That sounds fine. Please repair unit. Ah, and he got double tool C and D. Okay, that's fine. So now it's... He had 2 of them? Okay. Let me just see exactly what this does. The end of the damage step of the equipped monster attacks. The attack target... Okay, yeah, that's fine. So you're based all on attacking right now. Technically, I could just go about using Psychic Jumper and taking that. So what would it happen? Okay, your opponent cannot select a monster other than the equipped monster as an attack target. An attack monster that battles the equipped monster is destroyed at the end of the damage step. Okay, that sounds really good. So we can summon you. Okay, then we can... We're gonna have to get Snail. And definitely getting emergency teleport. For Dr. Cranium. So now we can activate Psychic Jumper. Targeting you. Getting rid of Psychic Jumper. So now we can attack. Hey, 800, and what are we getting? Pretty much all of these, because of our low attack points, aren't going to be very useful. Probably just going to get the all-powerful Krevins. Okay, yeah, and Psychic Jumper isn't exactly going to, like, send it back after a turn, so... Yeah, how do you like being defeated by Power Tool Dragon? The problem I have is the fact that there's too many tuners. Okay, we can use Reinforced Human Cyborg. We can get rid of Dr. Cranium. And let's just go through and have Psychic Snail... It can no longer attack, but it can go about having Reinforced Human Psychic Borg attack twice. We can destroy you with Power Tool Dragon. And we'll attack twice with Reinforced Human Psychic Borg. Yeah, won that one. Ah, so we get Power Tool Dragon. Power Tool Dragon can be useful. But I'm not entirely sure we're gonna have any kind of use for it right now. Is it? Wondering whether or not it's generic in order to get into. Because if it is, then I can think of a deck I've been wanting to create. And mainly because I'm not really playing this game for myself anymore. And by that I mean I'm playing this save file completely and not the one I have upstairs on my laptop. I kind of want to go about trying another go at that Noble Knight deck. Okay, now I actually have some synchros I can go into. So I have Psychic Life Transfer, Psychic Nightmare. I kind of like Psychic Life Transfer more. Hyper Psychic Blaster is definitely one I really like. But even then, just getting Magical Android would be cool. Thing is, I kind of... No matter what, we're gonna go about summoning a Telekinetic Shocker. We're gonna activate Psychokinesis. Crap, I didn't want to do that. I was trying to get the back... row. Okay. I'm gonna emergency teleport. And I only have 2s and 3s. I do not have a single 1, so let's go Psychic Commander. And we'll get we'll go about synchro summoning Life Transfer. We'll send one away. Psychic Commander for some more life points. And then we're going to end phase. All of the Psychic Synchros, for the most part, give you ways of getting more life points, considering the fact that all of the regular Psychic monsters kind of use, like, you piss through all of your life points real quickly. Thing is, I could go into Hyper Psychic Blaster if I wanted to. Whether or not that's smart, who really knows? I'm gonna emergency teleport, getting Psychic Jumper. I will get out Hyper Psychic Blaster. And then I'm gonna use Psychic Overload, sending all of them back to deck. If I can draw 2. And interesting. I'm going to set you. And nothing else. Okay, let's go through, do this again. We summon Psychic Commander. And once again, get out Psychic Life Transfer. End phase. And once again, nothing. I will once again set another psychic monster. I'm going to set telepathic power. Now setting anything is kind of... Oh my god. Another Swords of Revealing Light. I'm gonna go about using Telekinetic Shocker. I go to end phase. No. Yay, 1600. Teleport's not going to be useful to me whatsoever. Only one on there. Let's set. We'll see what we can do. Okay, that's something. Well, I'm just gonna go to next 10 phase. I can't really do much of anything. If you have a third Swords of Revealing Light, I'm gonna silently scream. Okay, now you actually have something that matters. Can you actually start playing your deck now? Okay, so I'm gonna flip you up. And I'm just gonna go in for the attack. And it looks like I'm gonna be able to do it. Can't destroy me. I have telekinetic shocker. And looks like Sayer's just gonna kill Carly off. Mark of the Monkey? Sure. Let's see if we can do this one. This is still my favorite part of any Yu-Gi-Oh anime. The entire, like, anime franchise. This is my favorite arc in the Dark Signer arc. It's just very compelling, especially if you go about watching it in the original version. It could have been so much more. This entire anime could have been so much more. But they backpedaled as soon as the Dark Side arc was dealt with, which kind of is annoying. Yeah, it sucks. Luna doesn't really have much of an actual deck. The fact that she doesn't or isn't present whatsoever as a duelist you can fight in this game. Sort of bothersome. It really is bothersome. Okay, so I'm gonna go first. Interesting. So let's go about summoning Selphon. We can roll a 6-sided die. Ooh, and it's gonna be 6, and we can find out. We can special summon a Morphtronic from our deck. Oh, there was some pretty good stuff in here. What can you do? Okay, so neither of these can really do what I was hoping. Yeah, we're gonna have to go into one of these. I'm guessing it's gonna be scoping. At the very least, this means I can get scoping out from with junk box once it goes to grave. And it can either be a 3 or 4. Closed forest. And it starts. You really shouldn't have gone after scoping. Okay, so beast monster type monsters you control gain 100 attack for each monster in your graveyard. Field spell cards cannot be activated. Field spell cards cannot be activated during the turn this card is destroyed. That's nice. Okay, so I could play this and then equip it with double tool C and D. But first, let's go with Selphon. Okay, not gonna be able to get it. You had your shot, Selphon. Okay. Let's try. Let's try this again. We can see the top 2 cards. Okay, so neither of them are going to be very good. Don't want to really get rid of. I can still go scoping into. Here's the thing. I could use this to destroy either Bazoo or Closed Forest. Or I should just probably do the smart thing. Morphtronic Boombox and Junk Box. Getting out, scoping, attack position. Going into Power Tool Dragon. With that, we can use its effect. What does this do? Ah, break draw is nice. I'm probably gonna go with a. Yeah, we'll probably go with Rocket. Pilder. He's probably gonna give me the Rocket Pilder too. No way in hell it's gonna be Snatch Steal. Ah, break draw, really? Interesting. real interesting. Same time, he's not going to be able to... he's not going to be able to deal with Selphon because he has to attack Power Tool Dragon specifically. Yep. We'll send to grave, break draw. I can return that magnet one in order to destroy that. What about using Remote 10? Activating its effect. For Scopin. And then I can get Magnin from hand. Or two hand, again. I can use Selphon. Okay. So that's the next card. Which means we can use Selphon again. Getting Scopin. Yeah, we will... Yeah, it kind of sucks, the fact that we have all these monsters, we really can't go about using them for much. Well, let's get ourselves another equip. Please, if you can, just give me the... That's not the one I wanted. We can get Boombox in. And if we have Boombox in, we can go into Power Tool Dragon using Scopin and Boombox in. We'll once again use its effect. Snatch Steal, double Tool C&D, and Autonomous Action Unit. Hopefully getting Autonomous Action Unit. And there it is. Using it. Getting Bazoo, the Soul Eater. It is almost tempting to just leave Bazoo the Soul Eater here. So we could... Yeah, there's almost... It's quite possible I could just benefit off of having Bazoo just do stuff. Or I could go into another Power Tool Dragon. I'm pretty sure if I use its effect again, he cannot give me double Tool C&D. If he does, I basically won. And he gives me it. Oh, that's lovely. Well, that's all I need for lethal. Okay, maybe you had something that would have saved your ass. Here, take 100. And what do you have now? Closed forest again. Okay, that's fine. Oh, Moja. Poor Moja. Yeah, that's fine. You can get back that card. That's perfectly all right. You've lost. So how many of these did we go through? I think it was about like 3 of them. Yeah. Well, at least we're a bit farther into 5Ds. Big thing is, do we have... And we do, in fact, have more... We do, in fact, have another booster, which is all I was wanting. As you can see, for the most part, we have so many cards from the Duel Monsters boosters. We actually do have quite a few from the GX ones. And the only one that doesn't have pretty much anything was the Leo and Luna one. I mean, you've already shafted Luna enough. Do mind that that wasn't meant that way. But Luna's completely out of this. It should just be a Leo one. And we have Crow now. Why not? So Naturia in this, as is Blackwing. I would actually like to play Naturia. The Reactors 2 and Nordic. Interesting. Fabled as well. I'm just trying to figure out some new deck ideas. Okay. Laval. Oh, yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for then. Granted, my favorite Laval card is not out at this point in time. Or at least I don't believe it is. But there is plenty of other stuff we can do with Laval. Okay, you can special summon one level 5 or higher tuner monster from your deck. What? I only really know of like one level 5 or higher tuna monster. And I'm thinking about throwing that one to the Gusted one. We also have a bunch of Misty Valley cards too. Naturia, Gaiastrio. Okay, so 2 Earth Synchro monsters. During either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated, that targets exactly one card on the field, and no other cards. You can send one card from your hand to the grave. Negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. That sounds like fun. Laval Stenen. When Synchro summons, send one card from your hand to grave. During either player's turn, when this card is targeted by a card effect, you can banish one Laval monster from your graveyard. Negate the activation. If you do, destroy the targeting card. Interesting. So... we could technically go through and use this and probably benefit off of some of the fabled cards, but they can be or special summons when sent to grave. Yeah. Well, this is when discarded, so it has to be specifically discarded. Okay, also I just kind of want to go about using Naturia as well. And there's also something to be said about just wanting to try out Nordic cards, because I've had them. Especially like Garmer is one of the ones I remember having as a child. Well, more so a teen than a child. But I was debating on using earlier Flameville, and they're not exact. Oh, Dark Strike Fire, that's interesting. They're not exactly, or they don't have as much of a payoff that I'm looking for, so I was kind of waiting until I got the lava monsters. because they actually do somewhat have a payoff. And it's easier for me to mix those than anything else. If I could actually get into some Fire King cards too, that would be pretty cool. Too bad the fact that Volcanic has pretty much no interaction with anything whatsoever in Fire and Pyro. Okay, Level Judgment Lord. Once per turn, you can banish one level monster from your graveyard, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. Level Judgment Lord cannot declare an attack the turn this effect is activated. Now that is a cool card. Still not my favorite. Okay, and I've been completely ignoring all those Black Wings. I don't really want to go about using Black Wings. I don't really want to go about using them whatsoever. So again, we have some ideas of what we want to go about doing. But for the most part, I still do want to go through and continuously revamp any of these decks as I see cards that we can actually go about using in order to fix these decks up. Because that's the entire reason why I wanted to go about doing this, was more so not playing the game over again, but to play the game with different decks. And mainly going and seeing, okay, build up my knowledge of the card pool. Considering the fact that my knowledge of the card pool is highly drawn from what people play online, and by that I mean watching people play online, which means in order to understand all effects, it's kind of a little bit more difficult. Oh well, have fun everybody, have a nice day.